Hello, this is Amos Tarfa. I hope you're doing well. Just want to make a short video addressing a few items. The first has to do with COVID-19 and the correlation now. We're seeing that there's a greater number of mental health diagnoses during this period, especially when the lockdown started. I believe that's the way it was put in the news report. But they also talked about an increase in suicides. And so it got me thinking, and I thought I should probably put some things out there to encourage people during this time, but also to encourage people who might be struggling to recognize that there are people out there, including my family and other people that I know, for example, in the community, that want to help in any way that we can. And so I want to encourage people to be careful not to keep everything to themselves to the point where they get, where it becomes so heavy to carry and leads to more complications. I want to encourage you, please, if you are one of my friends on Facebook and you're going through a difficult time, I really want to encourage you to make sure that if we are able to help, that you let us know so we know what we need to do. Of course, we'll be praying, but also what can we do to help if there's despair, if there's trouble, because of all that is happening with COVID and the world and all the stuff, all the lockdowns. Please do not hesitate to reach out. If there are people in your circle closer to where you live, make sure that you do what you can to connect with people who care and who want to help. So I just want to send a short reminder on that it makes sense. I understand the challenges of the time, but the challenge, the greater challenge is when we don't know necessarily who around us might be struggling. So if you're not struggling, that's a good thing, but what are you doing in helping those who might be struggling? Let's really look out for one another. If there's concerns, if there's worries or whatever is going on, let us know if we can help. So please, I just want to encourage us to encourage especially the young people as also. I see that the statistics, some of that has to do with the youth also. And if you think about growing up during this time period, things being locked down, you can't travel to certain places. I mean, think about that. Like, let's put ourselves in their shoes for a second to recognize how difficult it could be for some of them. Now, I know that some of them are busy playing video games and don't even care what's going on, but the ones who have stated that they have concerns, let's be there for them and encourage them and help them through this season. So just wanted to say that I am aware, I heard in the news, I know also from some visits to different websites that there are concerns with mental health, and we just have to be careful and listen when people share issues of mental health concerns that they have, and see what we can do in encouraging them and walking with them and praying with them and seeing them, be victorious through this season and in the future. So let's walk with them and encourage them as they go. Thank you for those who are who work with people on a daily basis in this field already, those who are answering phone calls and those who are just doing what they can. And I also want to extend the thanks to, I think about some of the work I do involves, actually most of what I do as a medical physicist involves working in different hospitals. So I see, just the nurses and the doctors in the departments that are taking care of patients in the ICU and so on. And I want to say thank you for what you do, and for all the people in the medical field working hard to help take care of those who are sick and those who are helping in the nursing homes. Thank you for what you're doing for caring for older population here in the U.S. and in other parts of the world. So please let us see what we can do in encouraging and caring for those who are on the front lines, even as I know that it can be very tiring. And so let's keep encouraging them as best as we can. I want to wrap up with a few things. One is, I think social media has its advantages. Everybody can agree that, yes, you have opportunities to connect with people. Now we're talking about mental health. And now the other problem we have with social media interaction, especially in the United States, is this level of generalizations and polarizations. And as you have dialogue with certain people, it can sometimes get intense. And we have to really be careful, because I understand that there's issues being debated in an election year here and so on, and I get it. But we also have to remember that people are going through difficult times in the midst of some of the things going on in our country with regards to COVID and so on. And so we have to really be gentle and careful in how we communicate with one another. Again, I'm speaking about friends communicating with friends, and just, looking out for one another, because I could tell you that when people have conversations on social media and people start name calling and this and that, that is definitely not going to be good for the mental health of all people involved. So that's just something I want to encourage people to do what they can to be careful in communicating gently. One way I see this, this is a quick commercial if you don't mind. One way I see this problem of dialogue that happens where things get intense and people start name calling is, it's like we sometimes don't wait for people to finish responding to what we've asked them, and then we just jump to the next thing or put them in a certain box. We feel like we have to put people in boxes quickly. Let's ask them to explain themselves, and if we do that, then maybe sometimes if what they're saying is actually invalid, they will begin to see that as they explain what they're trying to say. And what's sad is I don't see people say on Facebook, like, actually, you're right. I was wrong about that. You're right about that. Like, people don't it's almost like people don't want to agree in terms of where they find flaws in their own arguments, right? We almost feel like if I say something, then what I've said must be final. Well, not necessarily, especially when we're speaking about things written by humans or human beings having conversations. We should be open to correction. Oh, you're right. I was wrong about that. I didn't understand what you meant. I think it'd be really cool to see more of that someday. But maybe I'm just dreaming. I am a hyper optimist, which is one of my weaknesses. But anyways, back to the last thing. Please, if you are, if you're having a difficult time with COVID, if you're struggling with all the lockdowns and the this and that, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, to my friends on Facebook, to people I know, I'm saying, let me see what I can do, or let my wife see what she can do, and then. So as far as helping in our situation, in a situation of encouraging you, right, using this opportunity to encourage one another, right? Let's encourage one another. So let's keep that in perspective, and then please, if I don't know you, I'm just encouraging you to reach out to people around you that love you and care for you. The problem with social media, sorry, one more problem I forgot, is that sometimes you don't know if people really care. Right? You just don't know, because there's so many people they interact with online every day. You don't know if they're sitting down thinking, how can I encourage this person, right? Or they're not paying attention in that sense. So you have to also do your part, if you're struggling with all this going on, to reach out to somebody or to reach out to your friends. The friends especially that you know from real life. We need to build stronger friendships, especially during this time. And then please reach out if you need encouragement. So those are some thoughts. I just wanted to say I heard that news update about COVID-19 and mental health and suicides. And then I just wanted to let my friends know they can reach out. And also wanted to remind people that kindness will go a long way, especially now as people have dialogue, because there's already issues they're dealing with. So the last thing they need is to also get bashed on social media for just maybe saying something that they've not fully stated their premise, but they need to clarify, and people start bashing them. So we need to really be gentle and kind in communicating with one another. Those are the main things I wanted to address in this video. And one more thing before I forget, we need to remember that especially in difficult situations, we ought to pray, and we need to seek to grow in prayer, especially during this time. So I really want to encourage us, even going into the fall, to make it a priority to pray and to seek the peace that passes all understanding, even as the Bible teaches us. I've just finished doing a study of the book of John, and I'm doing a study through the epistles right now. So I want to encourage you also, if you haven't had a chance, to dig into your Bible. Grab the book of John and read it, or jump to the epistles that we're studying, which is just the book of Acts to Revelation, or if you want me to be specific, we're studying the book of 1st and 2nd Timothy right now. So also seek time in the Word, seek time to pray, seek time to grow in knowing what God's will is for your life. And so just wanted to mention that as well. I hope you're doing well again, and have a blessed week. Take care, and God bless.